The SAMR model is one of the hottest things right now in instructional technology, learning technologies, and it's something that I think there's a lot of models out there, but SAMR's pretty simplistic in the way that it can help you think about how students are engaging in learning when technology is a part of the equation, okay? Because a lot of times people don't know if they're really using technology in purposeful, meaningful ways that push student learning further. So I'm going to go through some examples of the different levels of technology integration. And I want you to really focus on, through the examples, what is the role of the learner? What is the learner doing? And how is the technology really allowing them to do things that they never could do before? And when we get to that point, that's going to be higher level redefinition. So first of all, substitution. When we're talking about the substitution level, you're replacing an old technology with a new technology. So no longer are you taking your notes by hand, you are typing them on your laptop or whatever device you have, okay? Task is the same. Another example I give is if you go from reading your text in a hard book to an electronic version, okay? There's no real difference, it's just how you're accessing it, substituting an old technology for a new technology. Augmentation. This is when you have a slight functional change because of the technology. So now when you're typing your paper instead of writing your paper, at the augmentation level, you also have spell check, grammar check, those little modifications because of the technology that enhance your user experience. So for example, if you are looking at an electronic text, maybe you're using the annotating features, the highlighting features, being able to look up words, things like that. So you're having, the experience is still the same from an instructional standpoint and from a learner standpoint, but you have the tool that enhances it a little bit or augments the experience a little bit, okay? So substitution, augmentation are considered lower level uses of technology. You're not really thinking about how a technology is actually enabling the learner to do something completely different. But they are good, right? It's good. Sometimes that's what you need. Not everything is going to be redefining an experience, right? Because sometimes you just got to take notes. So modification, this is where things get a little interesting. When we talk about modifying, think about the technology allows us to modify how the students are actually operating. So to bring it back, you've been noticing that I've taken some screenshots using this app called within the app Subtext. Subtext is an app that for iOS devices where it not only allows teachers to push out electronic text to students, but it allows students to work in groups to collaboratively have a social learning experience while they're engaging in literacy. We do a lot with during reading strategies and using subtext, and at the modification level, not only are the kids just reading the text, okay, substitution, right? Electronic versus hard copy. Augmentation, okay, cool. I get to look words up that I don't know. I get to highlight, that's cool. But at the higher level modification, now I get to decide who sees my notes. And we're now reaching something that we couldn't have done before with just the text itself, unless obviously you pass the paper. But how are you going to do that if you're not even in the same place or at the same time? Before I get to redefinition, I want to talk a little bit more about this subtext example. So I work also closely with one of our feeder schools, which has 5th through 8th grade, and then they come to us at 9th grade. And I worked with one of the instructional technology specialists at that school. We really wanted to figure out how can we use subtext to enhance the learning experience for students. And so with the 5th grade classroom, we found actually a primary source document. I thought it was really, really tough. It was on the American Revolution. It was like, and very heavy. At first I was thinking, oh my gosh, this would be rough for high school kids, but we're going to tuck along here. We're going to help the kids engage in some close reading strategies, get them to work on their questioning techniques with each other, apply it to other things that they've learned, and really see how this technology can help us enhance this experience. And then we made a quick little reflection video from the students. And I have to say, some of the things the kids said, it just blew my mind. I was like, that is awesome that they're saying these things and we weren't even like prodding them to get there. And I'll highlight what those are after I show it to you.
if you didn't know what something meant, someone could explain it for you. So, you know, when you understand the book, it's a lot more fun to read it.
Like what she said, instead of just putting a post-it note inside, you can actually show what the girl, because it's technology, and you can just interact with people, they can comment, and they can tell you your thoughts. Yes, you read books and you show what you think. That's how I think how subtext works.
It's helpful, mostly so when you're at home, you can still communicate, like a long-distance book club. But,
That was interesting.
I mean, it's still helpful in class, but I think it would be more useful at home.
Yeah, it's a long distance thing, but it depends. Like, it's like you can use it anytime. Like, if you're in class, sometimes you talk to them about like, okay, I typed this down, and let's say they can just talk to you. But yes, if let's say you need help on a book or you're home, you can just type and say, hey, guys, you know, this is this, and then they can tell you.
It was really exciting to also see, before they were instructed to start responding to each other, they started doing that and answering each other's questions and then asking more questions. And it was just really awesome to see how the technology allowed us to provide an experience for students that we could not have provided without it. Further along, on the highest level, when we're talking about technology integration with the SAMR model, is called redefinition. So with redefinition, this is where you're able to really go even further than just modifying the task and enhancing the experience, but really connecting to the larger world. So some examples would be another technology that's relatively new and really interesting right now is iBooks Author. iBooks Author allows users, anyone, could be us, could be young students, to create their own content in the form of a multi-touch book, meaning you can add videos, you can have audio, have a bunch of interactive widgets, things like that, most popularly known as iBooks. And what's cool about iTunes and the iTunes bookstore is that there's a lot of potential for publishing work. And one of my friends who teaches 4th grade in Pennsylvania has his students writing their own books and then publishing them in the iTunes store, which is really cool, because when you talk about that, I mean, you're just, this whole idea of motivation and audience is just escalated to the max. No longer is the audience the teacher, the classmates, the refrigerator at home. It's bigger and better, and which is really exciting when we talk about how we motivate students to share their learning.